जय श्री श्री गुरु गौरांग गंधार विकगिरिधारी श्री श्री राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जाय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मदन मोहन जू की जाय। नित्यालल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शुतर शुत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्री गुरुदेव की जाय। नित्यालल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शुतर शुत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यालल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शुतरशत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यालल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शुतरशत शिशुमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्यालल प्रविष्टम विष्णुपार शुतरशत शिशुमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्यालल प्रविष्ट महाभागवत श्रील गौर किशोरदास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। नित्यालल प्रविष्ट श्रील सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्यालल प्रविष्ट वैष्णव सार्वभौम श्रील जगन्नाथ दास बाबा जी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानुग गौरिय गुरु वर्ग की जय। श्री रूप सनातन भट्ट रघुनाथ श्री जीव गोपाल भट्टदास रघुनाथ शारद गोसाई प्रभु की जय। श्री स्वरूप दामोदर राय रामानंदारी श्री गौर पार्षद वृंद की जय। नाम जय श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल गौरमंडल ब्रजमंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभिष्ट प्रदत्त गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री यमुना देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। जय श्री जैव-धर्म की जय। जय रघुनाथ दास बाबा जी ब्रजनाथ एंड विजय कुमार की जय। जय दाश-मूला-śikṣā की जय। जय सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव हरि नाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल. Let me just look at the calendar. Is there anything special today? Oh, wow. Today is the last day of Katyayani Vrat, Purnima. So today is the day when Krishna stole the clothes of the gopis. That whole pastime took place today. So, Vastra Haran Lila ki jai. Jai Shri Vrajadevi Gan ki jai. And I think on this last day, Srimati Radhika also, she participated. So, Shri Vrishabhanu Nandini Srimati Radha Thakurani ki jai. Jai Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. If we weren't in a rush, then I would have read Ananda Vrindavan Champu and what else? Gopal Champu and Srivas also translated another Vastarharan Lila. But you can see that from last year if anybody wants to. Yeah, I think if you go on my YouTube channel and you type in, I don't know, maybe type in Vastara or stealing. I don't know. Anywhere around this time you'll find the video. But because we're going through the Daśa-mūla-śikṣā, and so we want to try to get through it, I'm I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm just gonna continue on with this. So we'll do the Mangalacharan and then begin. अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः. गुरुवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः. श्रीसिद्धान्तसरस्वतीति विदितो गौडीय गौर्वान्वये Bhato bhanuriva prabhata gagane yogora sankirtanai maya bharatimingilo daragatan udritya jivaniman Krishna prema sudabdhi gahana sukhang pradat prabhung tang bhaje Vande bhakti vinodang shri gaura shakti swarupakam Bhakti Shastragya Samrajam Radha Rasa Sudha Nidhi Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanugavarayate Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः वृषभानुसुतान्वितवामतनुं यमुनातटनागरनन्दसुतं मुरलीकलगीतविनोरपरां भज गोद्रुमकाननकुञ्जविदुं स्मर गौरगदाधरकेलिकलां भवगौरगदाधरपक्षचर शृणुगौरगदाधरचारुकथां भज गोद्रुमकाननकुञ्जविदुम् तवैवास्मि तवैवास्मि न जीवामि त्वया विना इति विज्ञाय देवि त्वां नायमां चरणान्तिकाम् भक्त्या विहीना अपराधलक्ष्याय क्षिप्ताश्च कामादितराङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि त्वां शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नमस्ते चरणारविन्दं भज श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभुनित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासरि गौरभक्तवृन्द हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Shri Devi Didi, Ganga Mataji, Kishore Prabhu, and I see there are 7 people on YouTube and Facebook right now. Here's Indira Mataji, Hare Krishna. All right, so yeah, Dandavat pranams everybody watching on YouTube and Facebook. Also pranams to everybody watching in the future. Haribol. So we have a lot to get through today's because I didn't finish yesterday's what I planned to read yesterday. I didn't finish that because we started late. So yeah, now we have extra to read. But so I'm gonna go kind of quickly today. Or maybe we should just make this two more days. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see how we do on time. All right. So yesterday we read the first part of chapter 13 of Jaiva-dharma, which is the commencement of Daśa-mūla-śikṣā, and we read about the first Daśmūla. The first Daśmūla tattva, which is our praman. What is our praman? I'd like to start each one of these programs throughout this whole thing, going through the what is it called? I don't know, the introductory verse, which has the entire Daśmūla in one verse. We'll recite that every single day, so that over time we will be able to memorize it. Haribol, Pradyumna Prabhu, Mantra Murti Mataji, and Chatamai Mataji. Haribol.
Prabhu, can I say something?
Yes, Prabhu, yes.
Srila Gurudev, we were at Govardhan, and he said, at least my sannyasis, I want them to know this Dasamulas and Vedanta Sutras. Otherwise, how they
Yeah.
be able to, they'll be pulverized out there with it, the Mayavadis, their quotes. So, yeah, thank you. This is great. I mean, memorizing this. Yeah, at least my sannyasis, I want them to know. They're very
Yeah.
important. They're key.
I wonder if when Gurudev was saying that if he meant all the verses of Daśa-mūla, because I remember Gurudev saying being really heavy with the first verse of Daśa-mūla and saying anybody who doesn't know this is not my disciple. I remember him saying that one time. But I wonder if Gurudev was referring to like all the shlokas of Daśa-mūla he wanted the sannyasis to know.
Yeah, I think I thought he meant they're all of them.
Yeah, yeah, probably. That's probably what you meant. Yes. Wow, yeah. And
Especially
really, this is the foundation. I mean, mul, the meaning of the word mul means
roots and
root,
yeah,
our foundation, the roots.
yeah.
It's like this is the essence. And so, if we have a really strong foundation, if we have strong roots, we have a strong mul, strong roots, then the rest of we can see where all the rest of the philosophy, all of our philosophy, we see where it fits in with everything else. This is like so it's so essential to understand this. And it's not so difficult really to just it's pretty logical and it's just and it's organized very clearly. Um, let's go through the first verse.
So would you say that this is the Angi then
The Angi,
of
I
the
don't know
yeah
of the philosophy.
of
Maybe,
the
maybe.
first two verses?
Yeah. Oh, like yeah, maybe, yeah. Today we're going to be reading about that actually. He's going
Okay.
to be speaking about how, well, no, a little bit different, but how Shri is the Angi, and then Yasha, what is it? Like he talks about the Bhagavan, and so we'll
Mm,
hear about Angi and Anga.
excellent.
So this first verse of Dashmula, yesterday one devotee was asking me how to recite this, like what's the meter? And so the meter of this is called Srag Dhara. And see this on the screen right now. There are the green ones mean long syllables, and the pink ones are short syllables. And so all Sanskrit verses, they're organized in patterns like this. It's not like this for Bengali verses and like this, but this is specifically for Sanskrit verses. Every single verse has to have a particular pattern of long and short syllables. And just so you and the you don't need to. I'm just explaining this so you understand the um, principle, but you don't need to like memorize this when I say it. But a long syllable is any syllable that has a long vowel. So these are long vowels. Like a with a line over it, e, u, um, a, I, o, sorry, a, like that. These are all any time you see a syllable with one of these vowels in them, then that's considered a long syllable. And then and then also conjuncts. So if you see two letters without a vowel in the middle, then that's also a long syllable. Like for bhakti, the kta, the syllable before the kta becomes a long syllable. Um, so I'll just bhakti, right? So this becomes a long syllable. Um, then short syllables are this. Oops. U, ri. Are there any other ones? Don't think so. Anyhow, so those are short syllables. And so you'll see with this, there's a long A, there's a long A. Oh, and I forgot. And then a long syllable is when there's ever a visarga or anuswar. So that means an H with a dot under it and an M with a dot over it. So you can see here, long A, H with a dot under it, long A. So see, those are four long syllables. And so the way you recite it is Naya pra. And then this one is a short syllable. See a short A there? So Naya prahatatvam. See, this one has two consonants without a vowel in between. So then this becomes a long syllable. Tatvang. And then there's the, oops, that's supposed to be it, and with a dot over it, not under it. Anyhow. So see, that's how it's so it's not easy to write Sanskrit verses because you have to get all the vowels, like all the short syllables and long syllables in the exact right order. It's not like English poetry where you just have to make sure that it rhymes at the end and is a certain number of syllables. But with Sanskrit, it has to be particularly a long syllable, then a short syllable, three long syllables here, two short syllables there, five short syllables here. You know, it's like it's very precise. So it's just ingenious. I mean, like the composers of Sanskrit poetry and verses, it's not an ordinary skill. So, um,
It's like mathematics.
yes, definitely. Yeah, totally. So, the meter, Suragdara meter is like this. Na 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 na. Sorry, I messed up with the mouse, but you get it. Actually, it'd been easier if I do it like this. Na 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 na. Sorry, I messed up. Na 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 na. Let me highlight it. That would be easier to see. Na 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 like that. Na 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 na. So let's try doing the verse like that in this Sarag Dhara meter. Oh, and see these lines here. That's called a yati. It means it's a pause. Caesura, I think in English, it's called a caesura in English. So let's try reciting this in the proper meter. Amnaya prahatatvam harim iha paramang sarvashakting rasabding tad pinashangscha jivan prakriti kavalitan tad vimuktangscha bhavad Bheda Bheda Prakasham Sakalamapi Hare Sadhanang Shuddha Bhakting Sadhyang Tat Priti Me Vetyupadishati Janan Gaura Chandra Swayang Sa. All right. And you might be wondering, wait, why is this one a long syllable here? See, it says beda beda. I thought a short a means a short syllable, but we have to look. See the next word? It's pr without a vowel in between. So that's why this becomes a long syllable. So whenever you see two consonants without a vowel in between, then the previous syllable, even if it's a short syllable, becomes long. There's another example like that somewhere here also. Where was it? Anyways, doesn't matter. Yeah. All right. So where was it? Sorry. Anyhow, you get the point though. Okay, so now let's look at the chart that my friend Chandrasekhar made. Where is it? It's here. Oh no, I think I opened it up already. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so this is how the Daśa-mūla is divided. Yesterday we went through Praman, which is Guru, sadhu, and shastra are real evidence. Our evidence is Guru, sadhu, and shastra. That's our evidence, as well as pratyaksha. That means like direct sense perception, and other types of evidence. Only if they are in line with Guru, sadhu, and shastra. Then we consider those also evidence. My direct perception, I'll consider evidence if it's in line with what I've heard from Guru, sadhu, and shastra. So that's the praman, that's the evidence. And then prameya means all the things that are being proved by the evidence. That's prameya. So the basis for all the rest of the Daśa-mūla is this evidence of especially Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and the words coming from our acharyas in that line, in the pure Sad Sampradaya. And so then these are the 9 prameyas. The 9 prameyas are divided into sambandha, that has to do with understanding Bhagavan and his relationship to us and his relationship to Maya and the jiva's relationship to Maya and all relationship. That's sambandha. And then avideya, the 9th Daśa-mūla, that's the path, the means to attain the goal. And then prayojan is the goal. Shuddha bhakti is the only path, is the only sadhan to reach the sadhya, the goal, or the prayojan, which is Krishna prem. So but going back to sambandha, this is divided into 3 parts. First is the first 3 in the sambandha. Is related to Hari. So Shri Hari is the absolute truth. He's the Paramatattva. Shri Hari is fully endowed with all potency. He is Sarva Shaktiman. And Shri Hari is an ocean of ras. He is a rasa sindhu. And then the next part of Sambandha is all related to the jiva. The jivas are Shri Hari's parts and parcels. They are vibhinangsha, separated parts. Then 6, the conditioned souls are captured by Maya, and the liberated souls are free from Maya. And then the 8th one, the 8th Daśa-mūla tattva, is how all these are related. Everything in existence, both conscious and unconscious. So all inert matter, all of Maya, and all conscious, all living entities, all of jivas, everything is inconceivably both one with and different from Shri Hari. Achinta means inconceivable, bhed means different, and abhed means non-different. Prakash means manifestation. So it's an inconceivable, different and non-different manifestation of Shri Hari, everything in existence, both conscious and unconscious. Conscious and inert, sorry. Yeah. So that's basically it. That's the whole Daśa-mūla tattva. And so over this month until the end, we're going to be going over everything in Sambandha. Yeah. All right. So let's begin reading the chapter from where we left off. Oh, and I'm just looking at, I think we're going to do this for 2 days, actually. Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna extend chapter 13 another day, just so that we can end on time and we don't need to rush too fast. So the first verse of Daśa-mūla is, where is it? This one. Let's recite it and then we'll go through the meaning of this verse. Haribol Sarveshwari Mataji. Okay. And Vidyalala Sadidi and Kishore Kumar Samal and Mahi Bharat Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams Prabhu, and Premavati Didi, Dandavat Pranams. Haribol. Okay, so let's recite this verse. Okay, so we went through Sraddhara meter. Now this meter is Shikarini, same as Nityanandashtakam, Mana-śikṣā, and what else is, there's, a few other things like that. So, Oh, the Swanyam Dodashakam and Swanyam Dashakam, which we went over, that's also in the same meter. So, Swata Siddho Vedo Haridaita Vedha Prabhritita Pramanang Sat Prapta Pramiti Vishayantanavavidan Tata Pratyakshari Pramiti Sahitang Sadhayatina Nayuktistarkakya Pravishati Tata Shakti Rahita. This is a translation that I was working on. It's still not perfect, but the self-evident Vedas, the Swata Siddha Veda. Self-evident Vedas are self-manifested Vedas. They're not, they're eternal. They're eternally perfect by themselves. So, yeah. They're not created by any human being. They are eternally perfect, eternally manifest, self-evident. These Vedas, which are received in a sampradaya, sat praptam, that means they're received in a sampradaya, through the Guru Parampara, by recipients of Sri Hari's mercy. So Hari Daita means those who are dear to Sri Hari, those who are protected by Hari, those who are the recipients of Sri Hari's mercy. That's Hari Daita. Like Prabhriti means such as, and so on. It actually means and so on. Like Brahma, Veda. Veda, it refers to Brahma. Actually, it's Vedas, right? But then I think because of a Sandhi rule, I'm guessing, the sa becomes a H with a dot under it. So, Hari Daita Veda Prabhritita. So the self-evident Vedas, um, which were received in the Sampradaya, Sat Praptam, by recipients of Sri Hari's mercy, Hari Daita, like Brahma, Veda, Prabhritita, and so on. This establishes sadhayati for us. Na means us. So these Vedas received through the Sampradaya, through our Guru Parampara, establishes sadhayati, establishes what? It establishes our pramanam, establishes what we consider our evidence. That is evidence. Evidence for what? For pramiti vishayan. Pramiti means proved knowledge, like true proved knowledge. And vishayan means the objects. So, in other words, pramiti vishayan means prameya. It means the things that are proved through praman. And these prameyas, tan means these prameyas are nava vidhan, are of 9 types, are nine topics, which we already went through. And then tata and pratyakshadi. Pratyaksha means direct sense perception. Pratyaksha. Adi, and so on, and other types of evidence. Pramiti sahitam. So along with these knowledge gains through other evidences, such as direct sense perception. They're also considered praman, but only if they are in line with the Svata Siddho Veda, along with the self-evident Vedas, which are Sat Praptam, which are received through the Sampradaya. Now, na yuktis tarkakya. So yukti, that means reasoning, which, what is it? Which is based only on tarka, so reasoning, yukti, which is based only on tarka. Akya means called tarka. Like tarka means logic and argument, That's tarka. So any kind of reasoning which is based on logic and argument, na does not pravishati enter. It cannot enter. It cannot enter these topics, these inconceivable subject matters. It can't enter these inconceivable subject matters like these 9 prameyas. You can't discuss them with just logic and argument. Why? Because they are shakti rahita. Because they have no power. They're devoid. Rahita means devoid of shakti, of power. They're devoid of power. All right. And why are they devoid of power? Because they're just like it's just um, argument and logic is just limited to our very minuscule brains, which can our brains can't even conceive of things in this world. What to speak of things that are beyond this world, the transcendental realm. So that's why they're devoid of power. Our brains are not very strong for entering into these inconceivable subject matters. So yesterday, in our reading, Raghunath Das Babaji Maharaj was explaining to Rajanath in detail. He was going through each one of these points in this verse and breaking it down, going through what is the sampradaya, what is Swata Siddha Veda, why is pratyaksha, if it's not in line with these Vedas received through the sampradaya, why can't that be evidence? Why is it Shakti Rahita? So he explained all those things, but we didn't complete this point, this section. Where the last question here. Okay, so do pratyaksha and other pramans have no value at all as evidence? Then Babaji, Raghunath Das Babaji Maharaj, he says, what means do we have to gain knowledge of this material sphere except through direct perception and other pramans? Yeah, we have to have some kind of perception or some kind of like that. Otherwise, how do we have any? We can only gain knowledge through our senses. Um, Nonetheless, they can never give knowledge about the spiritual world, the chit jagat, for they cannot enter into it. Na pravishati, right from the verse it says, na pravishati, they cannot enter it. That is why the Vedas are certainly the one and only praman for gaining knowledge about the chit jagat, that means the spiritual world. The evidence gained from pratyaksha and other pramans is only worth considering when it follows the guidelines of the self-evident Vedic knowledge. Otherwise, its evidence can be discarded. That is why the self-evident Vedas are the only evidence. Pratyaksha, that means direct sense perception, and other pramans can also be accepted as evidence, but only if they are in pursuance of the Vedas. Then Rajanath asks, are literatures such as Gita and the Bhagavatam not counted as praman, not counted as evidence? Babaji, the Bhagavad Gita is called an Upanishad, Gita Upanishad, because it is the Vani, it is the direct words, instructions of Bhagavan. Hence, the Gita is Veda. Similarly, Daśa-mūla-tattva is also Bhagavat Vani. It is also the words of Bhagavan, because it is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instructions. So it is also Veda. Srimad Bhagavatam is the crest jewel of all the pramans, because it is the compilation of the essence of the meaning of the Vedas. The instructions of different shastras are authoritative evidence only as long as they follow the Vedic knowledge. There are 3 types of Tantra Shastras: Sattvika, Rajasika, and Tamasika. Of these, The Pancharatra and so on are in the Sattvic group. They are in the mode of goodness, pure goodness. And they are accepted as evidence because they expands the confidential meaning of the Veda. And Vrajanath asks, there are many books in the Vedic line. Which of these may be accepted as evidence and which may not? Babaji, in the course of time, unscrupulous and untruthful personalities have interpolated many chapters, mandalas, mandala means a section or division, and mantras into the Vedas in order to fulfill various self-interests. Those parts that were added at a later time are called prakshipta, interpolated parts. That same thing happened with the Bible also, right? Things were added into the Bible, things were taken out of the Bible by unscrupulous persons. So the same thing happened with so many of the scriptures also. You'll see verses that are in some versions and not in other versions, and like that. Some verses are taken out, some verses are added in. So it is not that we should accept any and every Vedic text as reliable evidence. Those Vedic granthas that the acharyas and the Sat Sampradayas have accepted as evidence are definitely Veda and are authoritative evidence. But we should reject literature or parts of literature that they have not recognized. And I remember when we were going through our Srimad Bhagavatam reading, sometimes Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur would say, in some versions, this verse is there, and some versions, this verse is missing, and like that. Like he would explain where things were added or taken out. And that's why we need Sampradaya, because yeah. Rajanath. Which Vedic granthas have the acharyas of the Sat Sampradayas accepted? Babaji. Isha, Kena, Kata, Prashna, Mundaka, Mandukya, Taittiriya, Aitareya, Chandogya, Brihad Aranyaka, and Shweta Shvatar. These 11 Sattvika Upanishads are accepted. And Srila Bhakti Srirup Siddhanti Goswami Maharaj, he published all of these together, all these 11 Upanishads. Yeah. Be great if they're translated into English sometime. So these 11 Sattvika Upanishads are accepted as evidence. And so are Gopal Upanishad, Gopal Tapani Upanishad, Nrsimha Tapani, and some other Tapanis that are helpful in worship. The acharyas have also accepted Brahmans and mandalas as Vedic literature. Wait, what? I didn't understand that. Acharyas have also accepted Brahmanas and mandalas as Vedic literature, as long as they expand the Vedas, following the guidance of Rig, Sama, Yaju, and Atharva. We receive all the Vedic literatures from the acharyas in the Sat Sampradayas, so we can accept them as evidence from a bona fide source. Rajanath. Is there any evidence in the Veda to show that logic cannot enter into transcendental subject matter? In the verse, what was it? Na yuktis tarkakya pravishati. Tarka cannot enter into the pravishati, cannot enter into transcendental subject matter. So is there any evidence for that? Rajanath's asking. Babaji. There are many famous statements in the Vedas, such as Naisha Tarkena Matir Apaneya. O Nachiketa, whatever intelligence you have gained regarding Atma Tattva should not be destroyed by logic, by Tarka. That's from the Kata Upanishad 1-9. And the statements from Vedanta Sutra, such as Tarka Pratishtanat. Arguments based on logic have no foundation and cannot be used to establish any conclusions about the conscious reality. Because a fact that someone establishes logic and argument today can be refuted tomorrow by someone who is more intelligent and qualified. Therefore, the process of argumentation is said to be unfounded and baseless. That's from Brahma Sutra 2.1.11. And we see throughout history how so many different philosophers, right, they would come up with new philosophies and defeat the philosophies of their predecessors. And this will continue on throughout all time. So that's why any kind of logic, yeah, is always going to be faulty. It'll always be defeated later in the future, and something superior will be established. Furthermore, it is stated, Achintakalu ye bhavana tangstarkena yojayet. Prakriti-bhya parang yachcha tad achintyasya lakshanam. That's from the Mahabharata, Bhishma Parva 5.12. All transcendental tattvas are beyond material nature and are therefore inconceivable. Dry arguments are within the jurisdiction of material nature, so they can only be applied in mundane subject matters. They cannot even come close to transcendental tattvas, what to speak of grasping them. As far as inconceivable conceptions are concerned, the application of dry arguments is undesirable and useless. There's a really nice song that we're adding in the Gaudiya Kitikucha on this topic. Srivas just translated it. How does it go? Anyways, maybe we could sing it at the end of this time. This shloka of the Mahabharata establishes the limits of logic. And Srila Rupa Goswami, the Acharya of Bhakti Marg, has therefore written in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Eastern section 132. Swalpapi ruchireva syat bhakti tattvavabodhika yuktistu kevala naiva yad asya apratishtata. One can comprehend Bhakti Tattva when one has gained even a little taste for Shastras that establish Bhakti Tattva, such as Srimad Bhagavatam. However, one cannot understand this Bhakti Tattva by dry logic alone, because logic has no basis, and there is no end to arguments. Nothing genuine can be ascertained by logic and argument, as this ancient statement proves. Yatne no padito pyartha kushalar anumatribhi abhiyukta tarar anyayr anyataivo papadyate. Any logician can clearly establish any subject matter using arguments. But someone who is more expert in arguments can easily refute him. You use logic to establish one Siddhanta today, but a more intelligent and qualified logician will be able to refute it tomorrow. So why should you rely on logic? There's a beautiful verse that Sundar Gopal Prabhu mentioned. He quoted at the end of Namras's podcast like a year ago. I'd love to show that. It's such a beautiful verse. Should I show it now? Anyhow, let's just continue on. Vrajanath, Babaji, I have fully understood that the Veda, which is to say knowledge that is svata siddha, that is self-evident, is praman. Some logicians argue against the Vedas, but their efforts are fruitless. Now please be merciful and explain the second shloka of Daśa-mūla-tattva. Okay, so now we come to Daśa-mūla number 2. Hare Krishna Nitai Mukeshji. Let's look at it here. This second verse. This font's easier to read. Okay. Aristve tattvam Vidishi Vasuresha Pranamita Yadevedang Brahma Prakriti Rahitang Tat Tattvanumaha Paratma Tasyangsho Jagaranugato Vishvajanaka Savairadakanto Navajaladakantischid Udaya. I'll go over the meaning of each word after, at the end. But for now, let's continue reading from this. I also made a translation for this, but first we'll read the translation in this book. So indeed, Sri Hari, to whom Brahma, Shiva, and Indra, and other devatas continuously offer pranam, is the only supreme absolute truth. So Hari tu means indeed. So Haris Tvekam is the only, he is the sole tattvam. That means absolute truth, the parama tattva. Who, Vidhi means Brahma, Shiva, and Suresh means Indra, Pranamita, who they bow down to. That Hari is the Eka Tattva. He is the one and only absolute truth. Nirvishesh Brahma, that is devoid of Shakti, is Sri Hari's bodily effulgence. So Brahma, who is Prakriti Rahitam, he is devoid of any Shakti, of any power. He is but, tu means but, Anumaha, but his effulgence. He's just his effulgence. He is only his effulgence. And then Mahavishnu, who has created the universe and who has entered into it as the indwelling supersoul of all, is simply his partial manifestation. So Paratma means Paramatma, the supersoul. Is Tasya means his, is Hari's, his, Angsho, just is a part, or part of a part. And Jagar Anugato, he has entered into all the planets and into all the atoms. Jagar Anugato, and he is the Vishva Janaka. That Paramatma, or Mahavishnu, the super soul, he is the Vishva Janaka, the creator of this universe. Janaka means father or creator. Father, progenitor of the Vishva, of the universe. Then Savai, that means he certainly is Radha Kanta, Navajaladakantes. That means his. Anyways, let's just read from the book. But ever fresh, dark complexion. Let's see. So it is that Sri Hari alone, the very form of transcendental reality, Chit Sarup, Chid Udaya here, Chid Udaya, whose complexion is the color of a freshly formed thundercloud, Nava Jalada Kantish. Ever fresh, Nava, ever fresh, Jalada means rain cloud, giver of water, rain cloud. Kanti means his complexion is like like a fresh rain cloud. Who is he? He is Sri Radha Vallabha. He is the beloved of Sri Radha. The beloved of Sri Radha, that is the supreme truth, the Eka Tattva, the only one supreme absolute truth. Okay, so Vrajanath. The Upanishads describe Brahma, which is transcendental to affiliation with matter, to be the supreme truth. Yeah, the Upanishads describe Brahma, undifferentiated Brahman. Brahman, which is transcendental to affiliation with matter. The Upanishads explain that Brahma to be the supreme truth. So what argument or evidence has Sri Gaurahari used to establish Brahma as Sri Hari's bodily effulgence? In this verse, it says Tattvanu Maha, right? Yeah. Tattvanu Anumaha means the effulgence. So what evidence in the Vedas show that this Brahma which is devoid of any material potency, is just Hari's effulgence, Anumaha. Babaji. Sri Hari is certainly Bhagavan, whose true nature has been ascertained in the Vishnu Purana, 6.574. This is the definition of Bhagavan. Bhagavan means Van means who possesses the bhagas. That's the literal meaning of Bhagavan, the possessor of the bhagas. And so here are the bhagas. Bhaga is Aishvaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashasa shriya jnana vairagyayoshchaiva shannam bhaga itingana. Bhagavan is a supreme absolute truth endowed with 6 inconceivable qualities, 6 bhagas. He is the possessor, he is Van of 6 bhagas, Bhagavan. What are those six bhagas? One is complete opulence, strength, fame, beauty, knowledge, and renunciation. So Aishvarya is opulence. Vira is strength. Yasha is fame. Shri is beauty. Then Gyan is knowledge, and Vairagya is renunciation. Now there's a mutual relationship amongst these qualities of body. Now there's a mutual relationship amongst these qualities of body, the angi, and the limbs, anga. The question may arise, which of these qualities is angi and which are angas? Which of these 6 qualities of Bhagavan, which one is the body, and then which one, and then and then the rest of the limbs? So which one of these is the actual body? It's this one right there. The angi, the body, is that within which the angas, the limbs, are included. Okay, so the angi is that within which the angas, the limbs, are included. For example, a tree is angi, and the leaves and branches are the angas. The body, our human body, is the angi, and the feet and hands are its angas. Therefore, the principal quality, the angi gun, that represents the body, and to that quality, all other qualities, the anga guns, are arranged as its limbs. Therefore, the principal quality represents the body, and to that quality, all the other qualities are arranged as its limbs. Sorry, I read that wrong. The angi gun, so the body quality of Bhagavan, the angi gun of Bhagavan's transcendental form is his resplendent beauty, Shri. And the 3 qualities, opulence, that's Aishwarya, strength, that's Virya, and fame, Yasha, are his angas, his limbs. The remaining 2 qualities, knowledge, Gyan, and renunciation, Vairagya, are the effulgence of the quality of fame, because Gyan and Vairagya are only attributes of a quality, and not original qualities in their own right. Thus, Jnana and Vairagya are actually nirvikara Gyan. They are, which is the intrinsic constitutional form of the Nirvishesh Brahma, undifferentiated Brahma. And that Brahma is the bodily effulgence of the spiritual world. So that is all clear, right? So there's the angi quality of Bhagavan is his Shri. Right? Bhaga means qualities. And that the possessor of the 6 qualities, Bhaga, that means Bhagavan. Bhaga qualities, Van, possessor. And so and then we read all those qualities. The main quality, the anga, the body of Bhagavan is Shri. That's his beauty. And then the angas of that Shri, the limbs of that body, are Aishvarya, opulence, Virya, that's what is that? Strength, and then Yasha, fame. And then of that one, fame, the what is it? The effulgence from that fame is Gyan and Vairagya. That's how we understand the meaning of Bhagavan. And so Brahman realization is just Gyan and Vairagya, but none of the positive qualities. They're just, yeah, that one. The changeless, inactive, nirvishesh Brahma, which exists without body, limbs, and so on, is not in itself a complete tattva. Rather, it depends on the transcendental form of Bhagavan. Brahma is therefore not a supreme vastu, an entity that exists in its own right. It is a quality of the vastu, of the entity Bhagavan. It's just a quality of him. Bhagavan is indeed that vastu, and Brahma is his quality. Just as the light of a fire is not complete and independent. Just as the light of a fire is not a complete and independent tattva, but only a quality that depends on the fire. That all makes sense, right? Can't. So yeah, there's light from a fire, but it's completely dependent on the fire. If there was no fire, then there'd be no light from the fire. So Brahma is just the effulgence. It's just the light coming from the fire, Bhagavan. Vrajanath. The impersonal nirvishesh. What time is it? Okay, we just have a couple more minutes. We'll finish soon. Vrajanath. The impersonal nirvishesh qualities of Brahma are described in many places in the Vedas. And at the end of these descriptions, the mantra Om Shanti Shanti Hari Om is always used to describe the supreme truth, Sri Hari. Who is this Sri Hari? And Babaji says, that Sri Hari is in fact Chit Lila Mithuna, the combined form of Radha and Krishna, who performs divine pastimes. Vrajanath, I will inquire into this subject later. Now kindly tell me, how is Paramatma, the creator of the universe, the Jagat Karta, how is he a partial manifestation of Bhagavan? Babaji, pervading everything by his qualities of Aishvarya and Virya, power, and creating all the universes. Bhagavan enters every universe by his anksha, by his partial manifestation, Vishnu. Every anksha, every partial manifestation of Bhagavan always remains complete. None of them are ever incomplete. What's from the Radha Krishna Temple album? How does it go? Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. It's Brihad Aranyaka Upanishad 5.1 and Shri Ishupanishad, the invocation to Shri Ishupanishad. The meaning of that verse is the Avatari Purush, the origin of all avatars, is complete and perfect. Because he is completely perfect, all avatars emanating from him are also complete. And all that emanates from the supreme complete is complete. Even if the complete is subtracted from the complete, he still remains complete. In no way does that Parameshwar experience any diminution. Therefore, that complete whole, Sri Vishnu, who enters the universe and controls it, is certainly the indwelling supersoul, Paramatma. That Vishnu has three forms, Karnadakshay Vishnu, Kshirodakshay Vishnu, and Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Karnadakshay Vishnu, who is a partial manifestation of Sri Bhagavan, situates himself on the causal ocean, or the Viraja river, which extends between the Chit and Mayic worlds. From there he glances over Maya, who is situated far away. And by this glance, the material world is created. Bhagavan Sri Krishna has described the creation of the material world in Srimad Bhagavad Gita 9:10. Maya dakshena prakriti suyate sa characharam. That means, under my superintendence, my illusory energy creates the universe full of moving and non-moving beings. Then it is said, Sa Aikshata, that Paramatma glanced. That's from the Aitareya Upanishad 111. Okay, let's end here. We will recap this tomorrow. It's 8 o'clock. I just noticed. So the next question, Rajanath, we'll finish how Babaji explains Paramatma tomorrow. And then Rajanath asks, I understand that Brahma is Sri Hari's bodily effulgence and that Paramatma is his part. However, what evidence is there that Bhagavan Sri Krishna is that Bhagavan Sri Hari is Krishna himself? And so then we'll read his answer to that tomorrow. All right, that's our program for today. I told you I was going to end on time, so I ended on time. All right. Um, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaur Hari Bol. Just so you know, in Jaiva-dharma, like chapter 13 has verses 1 and 2 of Daśa-mūla in one chapter. But then after that, it's just one verse per chapter. So like right now, we went through those two verses kind of quickly. But then from chapter 14 onwards, we will have 2 days to go through each verse. So we can really take our time and try to understand it. Right after this program ends, I'm going to share all the resources in, well, just some resources in a WhatsApp group. Like, for example, I will share this chart so that you can see the meter, how to recite this Amnaya Prahatatam. And I'll make a voice recording of it. And then also, I will share this chart that my friend Chandrasekhar made for this first verse of Daśa-mūla, and like that. And then what else? And I'll also share the first verse of Daśa-mūla, and I'll make a recording of that as well. I'll do that right after I stop this recording. So if anybody wants to join the WhatsApp group and get all those resources, and I'll share more resources in the future. I'll also share Tridani Maharaj's questions for this chapter. Yeah, I'll do that also. Like a test kind of thing. So I'll share that all in our WhatsApp group. If you want to join our WhatsApp group, you can go to my website, vineofdevotion.com, and just look at the last post there. Click on it, and you'll see somewhere there a link to join the WhatsApp group. The WhatsApp group is called Bhakti Vinod Giti Dhara. So, yeah. All right. I'll do Jaidvani and we'll end for today. Jai Shishi Guru Goranga Gandhar. I'll do short Jaidwani. Jai Shachinandan Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Shishi Radha Vinod Bihari Ju Ki Jai. Shri Govinda Gopinath Maran Mohan Ju Ki Jai. Jai Shila Guru Dev Ki Jai. Jai Shila Param Guru Dev Ki Jai. Jai Shila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga Ki Jai. Swapa Shachi Gaur Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan Ki Jai. Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai. Jai Shri Satchidananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki jai. his Shri Jaiva-dharma ki jai, and Daśa-mūla-śikṣā ki jai. Jai Shri Raghunath Das Babaji, Rajanath, and Vijay Kumar ki jai. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. The Praman, our topmost Praman, the Swata Siddha Veda, Srimad Bhagavatam, and the words of this Veda coming through our Sampradaya, Ki Jai, our Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Saraswat Sampradaya, Ki Jai, the Parama the only one, supreme absolute truth, Shri Bhagavan Rajendra Nandan, Shri Krishna Chandra Ki Jai, Jai. Actually, he's Radha Vallabh, right? Jai Shri Radha Vallabha Ki Jai, like it said in that verse. Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Vrindai Tulsidevai Priyai Keshavashacha, Krishna Bhakti Pradadevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha, Pancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Oh, and Vidya Lalasadiri, I see you. Oh, yeah, you mentioned why I said I was going to go through the explanation of the second verse. Okay, I'm going to just say goodbye to everybody. And if anybody wants to stay longer, then we can go through the second verse. Yeah, all right. But just because I want to be respectful of everybody's time, so I'm just gonna Dandavat Pranams, Nri Hari Prabhu, Bhavatarani Mataji, Shri Devi Didi, Indira Mataji, Chatamai Mataji, Sarveshwari Didi, Pradyumna Prabhu, Mantramurti Mataji, Ganga Mataji, Kishore Prabhu, Mahi Bharat Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams Prabhu, Kishore Kumar Samal, Vidyalala Didi, Premavati Didi, Vangshiwala Prabhu, Champak Mataji, who else is there? Oh, wait, and Vidyalala Siditi says, and please share the verse Sundar Gopal Prabhu cited at the end of the podcast I was talking about. Oh, yes. Okay. Yes, I will share that. I'll share a timestamp of that. Very nice on the topic of how you can't come to the conclusion of on transcendental subject matters through debate. It's a really beautiful verse. So yeah, I'll find that and I'll share that in the WhatsApp group as well. All right. So Dandavat Pranams. If anybody wants to stay longer, I'm gonna just go through this second verse, and we'll go through it again tomorrow. But yeah, it's just good to go through it multiple times so that we can eventually get it. And as I mentioned before, right now, we're not like I don't expect anybody to fully memorize these by heart, but just to start to become familiar with them, so that gradually over time, and also with a lot of repetition, then they'll be very easy to memorize. And that's as I mentioned before, that's the way I like to do it, is just to make sure you understand all the words, and then just don't put so much effort into it. Just keep on coming back to it. Make it like a routine, and then gradually over maybe a few months or something of just keep on like looking at it over and over again, it will naturally stick in your memory in a very solid way. If you just try to memorize it all at once and you put in so much effort and you memorize it, but you don't just like keep on looking at it over and over again, then you'll forget it for sure. As I've mentioned before, I memorized the first 7 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, every single verse by heart. And it was so much work. It was so difficult. It was like all I did every day was like constantly trying to, and I put in all this effort, but because I didn't do it in a sattvic way, I did it in a very rajasic way. I forgot all the verses. I don't have any of those verses memorized anymore. So yeah, the main thing is just to, we're in it, we're in it, we're in it for the long run. Yeah. But so now I don't fully understand every single word in this yet. I just started going through it for the first time now. So, but I'll explain how much I do know. So, Hari, and I think tu usually means but here I think it's like giving emphasis. So, Hari indeed, I'd say. Hari indeed is Eka. He is the one, Tattvam. absolute truth. Tattva here means absolute truth, the Parama Tattva. So Hari is the one absolute truth. Haristvekam Tattvam. This is two, but because the next thing is a vowel, it becomes a V. That's a rule of sandhi in Sanskrit. So Haristvekam Tattvam. Hari is the one supreme absolute truth. Haristvekam Tattvam. Then Vidhi is Brahma, Shiva, Suresha is Indra, Pranamita. That that Hari is the one supreme absolute truth who is offered pranam to by Vidhi, by Brahma, by Shiva, and by Indra. And yet, who evidam. Eva means certainly, idam, this, but I don't really know how this fits in so nicely. Like I need to understand that better. But who and this Hari who, just his effulgence, his anumaha, is Brahma. Brahma, which is prakriti rahitam. It's completely devoid of any material energy. It's devoid of any prakriti. So Brahma is his anumaha, his effulgence. Brahma, which is prakriti rahitam, which is devoid of any material qualities, energy. Also, it says devoid of energy. It says devoid of shakti. Huh. Yeah. That is his effulgence. Then Paratma. Paratma means Paramatma, the super soul. And we just read in the explanation, like in Raghunath Das Babaji's explanation, it refers to Karna Dakshay Vishnu, Garbha Dakshay Vishnu, and Kshira Dakshay Vishnu, right? So Paramatma, the super soul, is Tasya, is his Anksha, is just a part, is just his part. And that Paramatma, that super soul, has Jagad Anugato, has entered into the worlds, into all the universes, and into every atoms of the universes. Anu means atom, doesn't it? Oh no, I think Anu with the under the N is atom. Anyhow, I don't know. But he's entered into every one of the universes and also into every atom of all the universes. So even though he's in everything, in all the universes, he's entered into every single atom, he is also the creator of the universes. He's Vishva Janaka. He is the progenitor, he is the father, the creator of all the Vishvas, or the source, I guess. Janaka means father, right? So he's the father, the source of all the universes. He's within every atom of the universe, and he's also the source, the father of the universes. So that Paramatma is just his Anksha, is just Hari's Anksha, his part. Tasya Anksha, his part. Sa means he, Shri Hari. It's referring to Shri Hari. So Shri Hari, Vai means certainly, is certainly Radha Kanta. He is the beloved of Radha, who is Nava. Nava means fresh. Jalada means rain cloud. Kanti. Kanti means complexion. So whose complexion is like a fresh rain cloud. Nava Jalada Kantis. Chid Udaya. So I don't know what the word udaya means clearly. I need to look at it, but it explains that his chit sarup, right? His form is completely transcendental. So that's the breakdown of all the words here. Let me just try to explain it without going through all the Sanskrit in detail, but I'll just try to explain it line by line. So Hari is certainly the one absolute truth who is offered pranam by Brahma, Shiva, and Indra. And whose effulgence, like Brahma, which is devoid of any shakti, prakriti, who's devoid of any potent energy, is but his effulgence. That Brahma which is devoid of any Shakti, is his effulgence, Anumaha. Paramatma, the super soul, are those three Vishnus, is Tasyangsho, is his portion, is just a portion of him. That Paramatma, which enters into all the universes, into every atom of the universes, and is Vishvajanaka, and is the father of the universes, the creator, the progenitor of the universes. Progenitor the right word? Yeah, I think so. So he, Vai, certainly is Radha Kanta, the lover of Sri Radha, whose complexion, whose kanti is Nava Jalada, is like a fresh rain cloud. And Chid Udaya, his swarup, his form is completely spiritual, transcendental. And Chit, also Sat Chit Ananda. Chit is Krishna, right? He is full cognizance, full understanding of the relationship also, right? Sat Chit Ananda, so Chit Udaya. He is Chit Swarup. So there's like more of meanings, deeper meaning than just spiritual like that. But yeah. Anyhow, that's my understanding of this so far, and over time I'll become more clear on everything, like Yad Evedam. It's just a very simple Sanskrit thing, but yeah. Anyways, I'm just looking at this for the first time. And I just tried to make okay. This is the translation I tried to make just now, but it's not complete at all. But Sri Hari, who is bowed to by Brahma, Shiva, and Indra, is the sole supreme reality, is the Parama Tattva. The undifferentiated, formless Brahman, devoid of energy, Shakti, is merely an effulgence emanating from him. The Supersoul, the Paramatma, who pervades the universe and acts as its creator, is but his expansion. Okay, so in the Bengali here it says Jagat Pravishta, who pervades the universe. I guess pervades and entering into every atom is the same thing, pretty much, right? Yeah. That Sri Hari, sorry, so the super soul Paramatma who pervades the universe and acts as its creator is but his expansion. That Sri Hari, whose complexion resembles a fresh rain cloud, is the transcendental lover of Sri Radha, is Radha Kanta. All right, so hopefully that verse is now somewhat clear. Maybe I will put inside our WhatsApp group recordings of both those verses. Yeah, I'll do that so that if anybody wants to try to recite those verses, they'll be able to see how to do the Shikarini meter. All right, Dandavat Pranams. Thank you for joining, everybody. See you all tomorrow. Haribo. Maybe this is what I'll do, is I'll end the program on time, and then for anybody who wants to memorize the verses and like that, then I'll do an extra thing like this. And that way, because I know not everybody really wants, like not everybody here wants to memorize the verses. Some people do though. So that way, yeah, those who don't want to memorize the verses, they can leave early. All right, Haribo.